everyone. Welcome back to Art Therapy with MindSoul Meditations. Before we get started, let's take a moment to take a deep breath and let it out slowly. And another one. Let's talk about vulnerability. Vulnerability is the raw and honest expression of our innermost feelings and fears. It is the courage to open up and share your authentic self with others, embracing your imperfections and insecurities. Having the courage to be vulnerable means being willing to show your true self, even when it feels uncomfortable or frightening. It involves being open about your emotions, experiences, and struggles, and allowing others to see the real you without any masks or pretenses. In art therapy, opening up can be guided through various creative expressions such as painting, drawing, or AI artwork. Art therapy provides a safe space for individuals to examine their vulnerabilities through artistic exploration. You can start your journey with a visual journal where you express your thoughts and feelings through art without judgment. You can create a self-portrait that reflects your true emotions and vulnerabilities. Use colors and textures to convey different aspects of your personality. You can explore abstract art as a way to symbolize complex emotions and experiences. Art therapy can help individuals find courage by providing a nonverbal outlet for expressing their vulnerability and for pursuing self-discovery. Through the creative process, you can explore and confront your fears and insecurities in a safe and non-judgmental environment. Some of the ways you can express your vulnerability in art is through the use of symbolism or subjects that embody vulnerability and courage. For example, an open door symbolizes new beginnings and opportunities. A lone wolf howling at the moon symbolizing vulnerability and strength in solitude. A fragile vase symbolizes delicate emotions and vulnerability. A glass rose symbolizing fragility and vulnerability. A wilted flower signifying fading hope or resilience through adversity. A rain-soaked window pane suggesting introspection and inner turmoil, or a painting of a landscape that is blurred as though looking through a wet window. A lone boat adrift in a vast ocean symbolizing vulnerability and uncertainty. An hourglass symbolizing the passage of time and the vulnerability of mortality. Let's create some art depicting vulnerability. This is actually a theme that I used extensively in my 30 Days of Chronic Pain, and I find that it's very powerful to show your vulnerability through art. So for today, what I'm going to do is actually work with a more minimalist type of prompt so that we can really focus on the subject matter. Vulnerability can actually be very lonely, and so that's why I thought minimalist might be a good style to capture that sense of frailty and fear that comes with being vulnerable. So I have a prompt set up. We'll do a surreal minimalist and ethereal painting. I have boundaries dissolve the face of a woman who's feeling vulnerable. Her delicate features disappear at the edges, with Dadaism woven through the simplistic forms, and abstract dreamscapes that echo surrealism and woven through bizarre neoclassical simplicity. Another thing that we're going to do today is take a look at Niji, which is another model within Midjourney. So the Midjourney that we've been using to date is meant more for realism, photography, and it just has its own flavor, whereas Niji was designed to be more for anime and cartoon, although it's evolved as well and also handles realism and photography quite well, but it just has its own feel to it. So you'll see that there's a distinct difference, and I may even run some of the prompts in both so that we can compare. So we'll start with this prompt that we have here, and I'm going to run these at aspect ratio of 4:5. And I'm going to start with the first one being on version 6 of Midjourney, which is the default that I've been using so far, but then I'm going to run it again on Niji 6. So I've copied and pasted the prompt and I've added Niji 6. So we'll run that and we'll see how that compares. So both of our prompts are now completed. So the first one here that we're looking at in this set is run with version 6 because that's a default that I have set. In the second set here, these are run with Niji 6, and you can see it's quite a different look to it. It's far more surreal in the second set. And if you don't want the word surreal to be part of your prompt, you can modify that. So we'll take a look at a few of these in a browser. So these are nice, but it's not quite the look that I ultimately want to get. I'm not really getting the full effect of her being vulnerable, so we'll probably modify the prompt. And we'll take a look at the other ones here. So the surreal ones actually speak to me a little bit more just because she has this look of being hidden, like she's hiding her vulnerability. She's hidden behind her vulnerability. There's a lack of courage that she's not, taking herself out there. However, we're still going to go ahead and modify the prompt and try it again. So I'm going to start with the top one here. I'm going to do both of them, and I'm going to again do it with the same prompt. When I think of vulnerability, one of the things I think about is somebody curled up in a ball. So that's what I'm going to try and change this to. So I'm going to go ahead and modify the prompt here. And what I'm going to change is I still want that dissolved edges kind of look. So I'm going to change this to body of a woman curled up and feeling vulnerable. So we'll run that one. And I'll modify this one here. So that's the same, and we'll submit that. So the first one here, this is with just Midjourney version 6. I find that this is far more emotional and I'm more drawn into the images, and we'll take a look at them closer in just a moment, but let's take a look at Niji. So Niji also far more emotional and I'm more compelled. So let's take a closer look at these. So the first one here, the nude, is really something else. I'm just taking a look at her hands here. It's almost like she's blocking her own mouth from speaking, whereas in the way that you reclaim your vulnerability is really to speak your truth. I really like that one. Our second one here, she's blindfolded. So again, that whole concept of hiding, the idea of her not really allowing herself to be truly seen, is an excellent example of symbolism for vulnerability. The one in the bottom right here is pretty powerful. I think it needs to have a little bit of modification to be perfect, because it looks like she has a hand for a foot, but she absolutely looks like somebody who's vulnerable. Let's look at the last one. So this one looks a little bit more photographic, and again, hiding behind the cloth. The face is blurred and obscured, and I don't think I would change that. It blends well with the whole idea of her trying to hide and be invisible. So let's look at the other ones. So the first one is a little bit bizarre. I like the concept of it, where she's sort of hidden, the ribbon is sort of hiding her, but the arms are just wrong. The second one is pretty good. Being curled up in the fetal position, completely covered in mask, hiding your vulnerability, not wanting to be exposed to the world. The one in the bottom right here, she definitely looks like she's in a bit of distress as well. Looks like she's surrounded by chaos, Probably speaks a lot to the troubling emotions that she's experiencing and why she's feeling vulnerable. And the one on the left here is also pretty good, except for the 2 left feet. So that could potentially be corrected though, or perhaps a different variation of that image. If that's the one that was pulling you in, you could try running it again to see if a different version of it would have better feet. So now that we've done artwork that depicts vulnerability, let's look at the lighter side and the opposite, and let's look at courage. So perhaps you've already worked on your vulnerability and you really want to depict where you are in your journey now, which is finding your voice. I am woman, hear me roar. And you really want to get that into your artwork. So I've created a secondary prompt, which is a modification of this one, which focuses more on courage. So let's take a look at that. For this one, I've gone for a more vibrant and ethereal painting. Boundaries transcend as the body of a woman unfurls with graceful strength, her delicate features radiating confidence at the edges. She is a beacon of resilience amidst the abstract dreamscapes. She exudes a triumphant spirit, her curves embodying the fearless embrace of life's journey. Surrealism and Dadaism intertwine through simplistic forms, echoing a harmonious fusion of bizarre neoclassical simplicity and empowerment. So it's okay to use multiple terminology. You see I have resilience, empowerment, fearless, to embody the full scope of what it is that you want to achieve. So let's try that in aspect ratio 4:5. If you're not confident writing long prompts like this, you can also write very short prompts. And they are just as good as a long prompt. The long prompt just really helps you bring together the full idea of your image. The full prompt is obviously more detailed, but you'll grow your prompt as you're going along, so you'll keep adding to it and you'll gradually build it up to a longer prompt. So our new prompt is completed. It's less minimalistic because I didn't put in all of the minimalist language in this one, but let's take a look and see what we got. So I really like the fabrics and the textiles in the first image, but she does still look more like she's sad and vulnerable. It's unfortunate that her face is cut off, so we might need to zoom that one out a bit, because I actually really like the movement in her body, her arms spread out in joy. It's just too bad that it cut off the top here, so I might actually fix that one. I like the movement of the dance in the one here in the bottom. She looks like she's exhibiting a lot of joy. It took me a few minutes looking at this one to see the abstract face on the top portion of the canvas, but I actually quite like it. So I hope you've enjoyed making art today. I think vulnerability in particular is a difficult topic to deal with because exposing your feelings in art like that can be difficult to feel comfortable with, but it's definitely worthwhile putting that into art. And taking that emotion out and like locking that into your artwork. It's the most therapeutic approach I found, is to confront the stuff that's more difficult. If you'd rather embrace the positive that's going on, if you're already in a place in your life where that journey is further along and you want to celebrate your achievement in overcoming some of your vulnerability and finding your courage, then go with more positive types of colors, positive types of imagery. And I look forward to seeing what kind of artwork you produce. Today's affirmation is, I have the courage to be vulnerable and express my true self. Thank you for joining me for another day of art therapy. I hope you enjoyed the session, and I hope you had a chance to create some really amazing art. Make sure to join me again tomorrow, and I really look forward to seeing you there.